You're listening to the DW and Incredible Jeff Show on FanboysInc.com.
When you hear the sound of thunder, don't you get too scared. Just grab your thunder buddy and say these magic words. Fuck you, thunder, you can suck my dick. You can't get me thunder, cause you're just God's farts.
And now for our feature presentation.
Welcome, everybody, to this brand new episode for a brand new year, the DW Incredible Jeff Show. Happy 2016 to you, Mr. Jeff.
Hi, everybody.
Mr. D-Man, and Happy New Year to our Periscope viewers out there. How are you guys doing? Hope you guys had a good and safe Happy New Year. 2016,
No,
third day in.
I already screwed it up on a check. Already did. Already wrote 2015 and had to cross it
How
out.
long does
do
it take
26.
for you to convert over? I think it's taken me, a couple weeks before I start realizing that it's not 2015 or the previous year. I always screw things up.
I still write 1999 on things. Like,
All right, Prince.
Yeah. Look, Prince told me to party like that, and I took his advice, okay?
Oh, my God. But 2015 was a great year for us here at Fanboys Inc. A lot of great additions. Rob Flanagan and his co-host for the Popping the Cherry with New
Heck
podcast.
yeah.
Obviously, Mike and Ming show coming on just recently for our network from AMC's Comic Book Men just joined our network, so that was fun. Obviously, you joined the
I joined
network.
in 2015.
Well, yeah, I guess you did.
I was auxiliary
were,
writing for you.
At the end, I think.
Maybe at the end of 2014,
right.
but like I wasn't a part of Fanboys Inc. until
D-Man
Hey.
joined us here, so our staff is growing.
The best year ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think 2016 will be the best year ever. We got a
2015
lot of things
was just
planned.
a prelude.
The best year yet.
Yes, there you go. We're going to do a little recap on this week's episode. We're going to do a couple Games of Thrones run by D-Man.
Yeah.
See if I can retain my throne. The prize is getting Fanboys Inc. I
Yeah.
don't know how much of a prize that will be for Jeff, but he can have it without us playing if he'd like it.
All right.
But let's get into we'll get into some topics right now. This past week, going into 2015 and 2016, always happens in threes. And
Yeah.
first off the bat, not to put the podcast down, but this was a legend in the music industry, not just music, just everything. But I think he even had a touch on the pop culture scene. I mean,
Oh my God,
just
yeah.
an iconic musician. Lemmy from Motorhead passed away. Well, you want to give us some details about Mr.
Well,
Lemmy?
for those of you who don't know, his real name was Ian.
Yes.
Ian Lemmy Kilmeister, the front man of Motorhead. We're listening to a little bit of that famous Ace of Spades right now. I mean, honestly, you've been living under a rock if you don't know who this guy is.
Right.
He, him and Motorhead helped shape hard music, heavy music, however you want to say it. He's the hero of so many of the bands that are famous today.
Right.
And he was a good dude. He really genuinely loved his friends and loved being in the scene and doing what he did. I mean, he famously was really good friends with Ozzy. In fact, I just found out recently that he was in a band. Lemmy, before he was in a band, the Motorhead band, he was in a band called Hawkwind. And they used to practice in a place in just outside of London. And this was when Black Sabbath was starting. And that's how Ozzy and Lemmy met. And then they became fast friends. And they were friends, up until obviously Lemmy died. And they went on tours together. And there's a famous story when Ozzy did his first solo tour, which I believe would have been Blizzard of Oz. I believe that would have been the first solo tour. Lemmy... his whole rider, the whole band, every band, if you're in a band, you get a rider. And that's like all
What was her name?
That's all the stuff you get, a lot of bands are like, we need beer, we need, sandwiches, we need crudité platters, like whatever,
Right.
Motorhead's rider was a case of vodka and a case of whiskey. That was it.
Nice.
And that was every show. They would have a case of whiskey and a case of frickin' vodka. And Ozzy asked, like, this was halfway into the tour, the first Ozzy solo tour. He asked Lemmy, he's like, so do you guys ever sleep? And Lemmy was like, nah, I don't need to sleep. And he's like, really? When was the last time you slept? He's like, the beginning of the tour. And the tour had already been going for like 2 weeks. So the band just didn't. What they did was they would pop.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put cocaine in the rider.
Yeah, they would pop. They would pop like
Not that hard.
Percocet. They would pop like Percocets and stuff, and and uppers, and then they would just drink. They would drink vodka and orange juice in the daytime, and then whiskey at night.
Wow.
And that's how they just lived.
I mean, he is definitely like Ozzy, the embodiment of sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
one of the
I
last
mean,
rock stars.
Yeah,
he really was.
I just, I can't think that help but think that he was kind of the canary in the coal mine. No, like
Yeah.
all the other
Yeah.
all the other old rock stars are sweating in there.
That's
Well-
Ozzy, man.
well,
Ozzy's the canary in the coal mine. I
Well,
mean, that guy is.
The difference being, though, between Ozzy and Lemmy is Ozzy has famously gotten sober within the last decade.
Right.
He had some health scares, and, he's got his family and all that stuff. So he went to rehab for, like, the umpteenth time, and it stuck. And Ozzy's been famously sober for, I believe, the last 10 years.
Yeah. I think he even stopped doing a lot of the prescription drugs because
Yeah.
when he did his reality show, that must have been 10 years ago at this point?
Yeah.
You could see him. He couldn't talk.
Yeah.
And then they started dropping some of his meds, and he's like coherent as hell.
Yeah.
And we all thought it was from years and years of drug abuse. It
No.
was the prescription meds that he's been
Yeah,
on.
and the difference being is that Lemmy, he famously said that he wanted to live his life exactly the way he wanted to live it, and if he wasn't having fun, what's the point? And he knew he wasn't going to live to be 99. In fact, he lived to be 70. He just turned 70 a week before he died. And it's like, he wasn't even expecting to live that long. He just wanted to die on stage. He famously said
Right,
that.
right.
But he wanted to die doing what he loved, which was having a good time. So he never stopped drinking. He never stopped partying. He never stopped living that life. In fact, Motorhead was supposed to hit the tour trail again at the end of January this year.
Which is wild because in Denver he couldn't even make it because of the elevation.
Yeah,
He had
he
to
was.
stop halfway through the show, out of breath.
And that's the sad and the good. It sucks that we lost such an icon, but he's been battling with cancer and health problems for the last 2 years, and so as terrible as it is that he died, at least he's not suffering anymore.
Right.
He said
right.
famously also, I can't believe I made it to 30.
Right. I mean, like.
And it's funny because you'll hear some of the most recent interviews with him. He's not coherent.
No.
And I don't, whether he's sober or not, he's gone.
Yeah.
It was, and it's sad. But, I mean, he's a huge icon.
Yeah.
And he was surprisingly living as long as he did and touring and doing he's got to be one of the last rockers that was like a hard rocker.
That's
Always touring.
Riding out into the sunset rock star style.
Yes,
for
exactly.
sure.
Definitely.
In fact, I've got a quote here from their drummer, Mickey D.
Mickey D.
Or I'm sorry, not
Ron
not a quote
McDonald
from,
is the drummer?
not a quote
The
from the drummer.
Hamburglars,
No,
the
Mikey
bass?
D. Mikey D was famously the Motorhead drummer too, and he was saying that Motorhead is over, obviously, because Lemmy's dead.
Right.
And he said that the last tour was so difficult because Lemmy would go on stage and take all of his energy and just expend it all on stage to the point where the band didn't even know how he would get through each show, and then he would be so tired and sick leading up to the next show. And he finished that whole European tour, and that was literally 20 days before he died.
Wow.
So, he did what he
Body
wanted
had
to
enough.
do. Yeah,
Body had enough.
So,
It's a hell of a week, by the way. You get your birthday.
Yeah.
You get Christmas.
New Year.
A cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
And die all in
Yeah.
a week.
Wow.
but,
That's
so
crazy.
I was sad to hear of his passing, and I loved that. A lot of times when my heroes die, I like to take a shot of whiskey in remembrance of them. For people who know me,
Jesus, it must have been a drunk week for you.
yeah, for people who know me, my all-time hero in music is Dimebag Darrell, and every year on the anniversary of his death, I take a shot for him. And I took a shot for Lemmy, and both times this year when I took a shot for Lemmy and I took a shot for Dime, I was able to take it out of Zach's Valhalla Java shot glass.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
Zach Wilde was a friend of both these men, so it felt like a little bit more of a connection to me that
That's
I was
cool.
able to do that, and I thought Zach probably would enjoy that too. So
Very cool. On another musician note, we lost another female musician this week, too, Natalie Cole.
oh yeah, I forgot about
That's
that.
right.
Yeah,
She died at 63 just
yeah,
recently. and
young.
Very young. I know throughout the years, listening to interviews, whenever she wanted to do an album, I know for a while, 2 record companies that she approached, 2 or 3 wanted her to re-sing her father's songs, and she just never felt comfortable enough to sing her father's songs. She wanted to sing her own. And then she finally, I want to say this in an interview, took a 4th record company to finally recognize that, okay, let's do your own songs, which weren't huge hits for her. And then I want to say early 2000s, she did that tribute song with the recording of her father that she sang a duet with him.
Oh, man, I want to say that was even earlier.
Could have been earlier,
Yeah.
and that was huge for her. It sold over 700 million copies and put her on the map, and then she felt, right after that she felt comfortable enough to do albums about her father, with her father's songs. So that was interesting. It's funny that we know of her because of her father, Nat King Cole.
Yep.
She never had a stellar career on her own unless she was singing Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
And as an artist, that's going to be hard to try to step out of your father's shadows to be your own original person.
Yeah.
She's done some Christmas songs that are amazing. She's an amazing voice. But sad to say, 63.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's hard for any offspring of, a very larger than life figure, to really come out of that. I mean, you see it so much with like the kids of the Beatles,
Sinatra.
or Sinatra's kids, and it's just like they try to go into that same aspect, and it's just tough.
Bob Dylan's son.
And I mean, it's the same even in actors and actresses too. It's very rare when someone can not only stand on their own 2 feet, but have a career that either comes in parallel or surpasses their parents.
Right. Well, what about like Michael Jackson's family?
Yep.
Michael was the only high one. I mean, what was it? Tito and LaToya, Janet. I guess you could put Janet right up there.
Arguments could be made that Janet and Michael
We're
had
about
the same.
But the rest of the family tried and they failed horribly.
Yeah.
So that you're standing on. I guess it's one thing to be under your father or mother's shadow.
Yeah.
Not a sibling.
Yeah.
You're not
Younger
a brother.
sibling, by
Yes.
the way.
Yes.
But
exactly.
I mean, it can be done. I mean, if you're looking at like actors and actresses, I mean, you got like. Kirk Douglas and Michael Douglas are both as big as they can be. The same thing with Martin Sheen
and Charlie Sheen and Amelia Estevez.
I mean, like,
I don't think anybody wants to be in
Where's
Charlie
Emilio
Sheen's.
Estevez, by the way? What's he doing?
He's still in the Breakfast Club. He's still in detention.
Painting houses. He's
yeah.
painting houses. And nobody wants to be in Charlie Sheen's shadow.
No.
Unless you want to stay high all the time.
It's just rough because, I mean, when, you're always going to be you're always going to be in the same breath as your patronage. If you're trying
Angelina
to get
Jolie's
same-
father.
Yeah, John Voight.
John Voight.
Yeah.
I mean, she definitely got out from underneath his shadow after a while. He was in soap operas for the longest time, am I correct?
One of my favorite father-son, Max Brooks.
Yeah, Max Brooks and Mel Brooks. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because it took me forever to realize that Max Brooks
Now,
was Mel Brooks'
as we
son.
can speculate, Johnny Depp's daughter put her foot in the acting ring on. I don't know what I want to say sadly, but she did team up in a Kevin Smith film called Yoga Hosers with Kevin Smith's daughter.
We're going to see how that goes.
But that could be both their daughters' foray into getting into movies. And we could see
know.
Johnny Depp's daughter going up the ranks.
I don't know. I'd be curious to see what Johnny Depp's daughter wants to do, but I'm almost certain Harley's doing this for her dad. Harley,
I don't think she wants to.
She wants to be a musician. She's
Yeah,
a hell of a
yeah,
bassist,
yeah.
and it'd be interesting to see her kind of.
Her first movie is going to be like a Josie and the Pussycats movie.
Yeah.
You watch. It'll be something with music related. The interesting thing with Johnny Depp's daughter is Johnny has been known to. I talk to him like Johnny and I we drink and hang out. He's been publicly stating that he does not like the Hollywood lifestyle. He used to live in the Hollywood Hills. Now he spends most of his time in Paris.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of tabloids with him, and he gets in and gets out.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that will affect his daughter. Maybe that'll be a better upbringing. With the child stars coming up, we see drug addiction. We see, a lot of just bad things happen to them. They get really high.
Yep.
In status, not on drugs.
Yeah.
And then it's the fame. Yeah. And then they just crash and burn. I'm wondering if with this, Johnny is not the normal Hollywood star type person. Maybe this will give her a little bit better head on her shoulders as she grows up. I think she's going to go right into films. I don't think, how can she not?
She's a looker.
She is a looker. So that's
She's got good genes.
That's
so,
kind of perverted, considering she's not of age yet.
I know. Hell, I mean,
Notice it. I know.
Well, it sucks. We do live in an age where, quote unquote sex appeal is,
The age? I think it's always been that age, hasn't it?
It's parlayed so much younger now.
It
you
is.
know? Like, I mean, and
It's the milk hormones.
that's the fault of even the Disney Channel. I mean, like they've got these tween shows where
Right.
like girls and guys
Now they're
are
kissing.
made up,
And
not
now they're
only
kissing in the
they're
show.
just made up to
Right.
look like they're.
I think that
20s.
started with the Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake generation,
I think so.
and then it just went from there. I
Yeah.
mean, the day of the non-pretty people on TV is pretty gone at this
Yeah.
point. On another, as we said, everything happens in threes. Another pop culture icon passes away too. Trapper John, MD,
Yep.
Wayne
Trapper
Rogers.
John, yeah.
MASH star dies as well. I grew up as a kid. I think they were reruns when I was a kid. I loved Hawkeye and Trapper. What was Lips? Hot Lips.
Hot
That's
Lips.
right.
Yeah.
Hot Lips Houlihan.
Yep.
If you're not familiar with the show, it's on YouTube. It's on. I think you can get some on Netflix. It might even be on Nick at Night. It's about a med unit back in. Is it the Korean War?
Yeah, it was the Korean War. MASH still has the record for the highest rated finale of any television show ever, highest watched finale.
Even over Cheers?
Over
and
everything.
Friends?
Yep. Yeah,
Wow.
because when it ended, it was already at the height of its popularity, and we as a nation weren't in conflict at that time.
Right.
But everybody, the Korean War and
What year did that show end? Do you
oh
remember?
man, I don't remember. But the Korean War and the Vietnam War were still fresh in a lot of the viewers' minds. So when they finally boarded the helicopters and left for the final time, it was revered by and they did a great job with it.
Right.
Unfortunately, Trapper John had left the show earlier than that because of contract disputes and everything. So they wrote his character off by
Right.
saying he got discharged from the Army,
Right.
and he was replaced by other actors.
He didn't do anything really after that, did he? Just
No, he
did his
kind of just
thing and
lived his life.
He
and
probably made enough money off the royalties of that playing over and over and over
he
again.
did some, some smatterings of stuff, but nothing of note. But yeah, it's sad to see. It's sad to see everybody go.
And it was very popular as they did a serious offshoot of that. I'd say a parody, but it was a serious show. It was China Beach.
Right.
With Dana Delaney. He used to have the biggest crush on Dana Delaney.
Aw.
I
She was
can't help
good.
it.
She was a good looker. Yeah. She was
How come
sure.
I don't get the fucking Boeing? Thank you.
She's too old now.
No, she's not.
That Boeing is a little rusty.
As in trombone? Oh. Yeah, so those three iconics, sad to see them go. Hopefully.
I got a fourth, unfortunately.
Do we have a fourth?
Yeah. Jason Wingreen passed away
that's
only a couple
right.
days ago.
The voice of Boba Fett.
He was the voice of Boba Fett in Empire Strikes Back, and he also was on All in the Family for a very long time. And he
Dies
did
in
a ton.
93.
He did a ton of stuff. Both him and
Was
Wayne-
he on All of the Family as Boba Fett? Because
Yes.
I would have watched it.
Yes. Archie Bunker was always so angry that he had a Mandalorian in his apartment.
Would
because
would
bounty
Archie be
hunting.
the Sith Lord?
no, he would just be the racist as he always was, and he would just hate that there was Mandalorians all over the place.
Wow. I used to watch that show, too, so much as a kid. The Jeffersons. Used to love that show. Get on up.
But he did a lot of work. He was on, on not just All in the Family and that. He was on Seinfeld. He was on a couple other different shows in the '90s. He definitely worked a lot as an older actor as well. And again, sad
So
to
what's
see him
going
go.
on with Star Wars where they're using bodies in different voices? I'd be really pissed.
Bodies in different voices.
James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader. The actor who played Boba Fett will be at East Coast Comic Con
Yes,
this year.
yes.
Name escapes me.
Yeah, mine too. But
You're the Boba Fett man, and you don't know the name.
there's a couple guys who played it. It's not in my head.
Why
right now.
use a different voice? Wasn't it all mechanical helmet synthesized anyway?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's two different things for that. One, I mean, with the Vader thing, the guy that they cast to be Vader, they knew right away they weren't going to make him
Yeah,
have his voice because
he's British.
He was super British, and that wasn't the voice that they were looking for.
Right.
And the other side of that coin is if you're paying someone to just appear on screen, you can pay them less.
Yeah,
And then
true.
you're paying a voice actor, which is less than actually paying someone to have lines.
There's a few.
Jeremy Bullock?
Yes, there we
that's
go.
what it is. There's a couple YouTube shots. I don't know if you've ever seen them of the non-voiceovers of Darth Vader with
It's
Leia.
hilarious.
It's so funny. I'm like, that's not imposing whatsoever.
Yeah. It really
I don't
sounds
care
like he's
how
gonna ask her to
upset a
tea.
British man sounds.
Yeah.
It's I'd laugh at you.
Yeah.
Sorry, anybody who's watching on Periscope from the UK.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
but those takes are pretty good. If you haven't seen them, go over to YouTube, and I forgot how you put that in.
Just honest, if you were to YouTube, like Darth
Vader outtakes or
original voice,
original voice, you'll probably get that. It's really funny. I know that his documentary is out in one of the previews, and I think we talked about it here. People on the set were really concerned the day that they were going to tell him that he was not the voice of Darth Vader. They had extra security on the set, just in case, because they never told him when he got hired that he was never going to be the voice.
Yeah.
That's got to suck.
And
I mean, he
famously-
probably put extra work into
Yes,
it.
He
too.
did.
He acted out all those scenes.
He did.
He really,
there was no breath.
It's probably better that way, though.
Yeah.
You know, if he was thinking in the back of his mind that they're not even going to keep my voice, then
Right.
he wouldn't put his all into it.
Right, that's true, I guess. I mean, because you have to get the mannerisms and everything else to go along with it. He's not just standing there with his hands by his side just saying, the words. So.
And famously, they were going to do the same thing with C-3PO. They were going to have Anthony Daniels do the motions,
Right.
and then they were going to hire somebody else to do the voice. And Lucas loved his performance so much that he scrapped that idea and had Daniels do both. So.
I wonder how that would have been different.
Yeah, I don't know. They might have went away from the British aspect again, and
Maybe
we
just
might
more robotic.
Yeah,
Could have been, and I like that they didn't do that.
they would have
I
gotten
did
Joan
like that.
Rivers like Mel Brooks.
Spaceballs. Anyway, this is the 2016 edition of first episode of
It's
the
our
new
first
year.
episode of the new year.
That's
yeah.
right. We will reflect a little bit right now, just some of the highlights for us in the industry and personally here for Fanboys Inc. I'll start with you, Jeff. Highlights for you for this year.
2015?
Some remembrance.
Oh God, I have so many. I mean,
some that just stand out.
Meeting some of the people I got to meet through Fanboys Inc. I got to guest spot on Incast this year, and I got to interview Nikki Klein from Battlestar Galactica, which is one of my favorite sci-fi shows, and she was one of my favorite characters on the show. So I spent the entire podcast desperately not trying to fanboy out too much, and I failed
Miserably.
Yeah, but I loved that moment. That
it was
great.
the day mediocre Jeff was born.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. But that was
You did all right,
That
though,
was
dude.
super fun.
That was like your third podcast. Wasn't
yeah,
it?
that was my
so-
third time ever being on a
So
mic.
you did all right. You did good.
What else? Getting to meet Dean Haspiel from Hang Die Studios.
Oh, Dean and Krista. Yes.
Well, I got to meet Dean up in Saratoga because
Yep.
he was staying at Yaddo, and it was just the most serendipitous type thing where I met him because he was doing a signing at the Comic Depot, and I said, I'd love to do an interview with you for Fanboys Inc. And he was like, sure, let's set it up. I'm here for a couple weeks. Let's set it up for next week. After I talked to him that day, he ran into David Greenberger, who is famous for doing the Duplex Planet graphic novel series. And they had worked together back in the day, and they hadn't seen each other in 20 years. And they just ran into each other on the street of Saratoga. And Dean got a hold of me and was like, I'd love to bring him along because we worked together and we could really talk. And it turned into
a
this
5-day review.
a 5-part conversation that I did that you can find over at Fanboys Inc. And it was one of the coolest conversations I've ever been able to be a part of. And it was the three of us just talking about the art of conversation and being in comic books and that kind of thing. And the two of them I became fast friends with. And, I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, seeing their studio was cool when we went down for New York City.
DW and
Comic-Con.
I got to go down to New York City Comic-Con this year and we got invited to Hang Die Studios and interviewed Dean and Krista Casano, who's a sweetheart. She's also part of Hang Die Studios, and her and Seamus Beale just did the graphic novel interpretation of John Leguizamo's one-man play Ghetto Clown, which was
I heard
excellent.
it's done very well too.
Excellent. If you haven't checked that out, and if you're a Leguizamo fan or a fan of graphic novels, you should totally pick that up. You can go pick it up at Amazon or all those different places. But it's I really look back on 2015 at the amount of people I was able to to meet and just call friends through Fanboys Inc. You know, I feel very blessed for that. So I had a really good year. Thanks
So
to
the
this
synopsis
company.
of this was the highlight was joining Fanboys Inc.
Definitely.
That's
Definitely.
what I wanted to get to. We got
Yeah, definitely joining up full time with Fanboys Inc. Because before that, I was doing a lot of writing just sporadically online. I was working for a couple different music sites. I was interviewing musicians, and I was reviewing comics for a totally different website.
we were strangers passing in the night for a
And,
year.
Yeah, you know. Oh, I had known you through Comic-Con and through Comic Depot
Right.
and that kind of stuff. But it was very cool to be welcomed into this industry by you, and being a part of Fanboys Inc. has changed my life forever for sure. So
Wow.
I look forward
Where's
to-
the Hulk sad music
I
for
look
that
I
moment?
look
Wow,
forward to
I'm going to shed a
2016.
tear on my microphone here.
Aw.
Aw. I'm exaggerating.
How about you? What do you remember from 2015 that you?
It was 3 days ago. 2015. There's nothing really to break it down. I think just
Yeah.
overall, the Fanboys Inc. It was stressful. It was a lot of work,
Yeah.
but by the end of the year, it definitely paid off. I think we've gone leaps and bounds. Using the Periscope, I think one of the technical highlights for us was using Periscope and being able to chat with our Periscope viewers. I thought that was cool. Just another added benefit,
Yeah.
bonus for Fanboys Inc. Like you, same, meeting different friends. We met different people. We've met some of the same people. The con season was more extravagant for me this year. I went to more cons this year.
Going to
So did-
Baltimore with you was so much
That
fun.
was
I've never
awesome.
been to Baltimore, let alone been to Baltimore Comic Con, and it's one of those Comic Cons that you hear about at other Comic Cons. Like
I think I want to say, not to cut you up, but I think you're going to say, I think within our circles, it was the most talked about Comic-Con
Definitely.
for the year. I
Definitely.
mean, everybody talks about San Diego.
And New
We've
York.
never been yet.
Yeah.
And everybody talks about New York, and I've been there for 4 years now. You've been
Right.
going longer. But even at Baltimore or even at New York, East Coast,
People talk
Albany,
about
we're
Baltimore.
talking about Baltimore like
Yeah.
this was an awesome con.
so.
And,
I was
that's what-
really stoked
yeah.
to go down there and experience that. And what a cool city! Like
Baltimore rocks.
I had so much fun doing that, and it was literally like there was a week. It was in September, and for the first
Didn't
half
we
of,
do back to back for a while?
pretty much. But I mean, it got to the point where I didn't think I was going to go to Baltimore, and a week before it was like, well, I'm going to Baltimore, and it was like a whirlwind of fun. Like,
I think, was that when I did contact you and say you're going to
yeah,
Baltimore?
yeah. So
I'm paying for your hotel room.
It was a good-
Let's go.
it was a good time. So we're gonna definitely
We're
make an
going back to
appearance
Baltimore.
next
That was my
year.
second time there. We got to finally meet Rob Flanagan in
Yeah.
person, a fan, now a member of the FBI network. My second time, you got to meet Mike Sains in person.
We got to meet The Voice.
The Voice.
We had a
yes.
whole Fanboys Inc. family reunion
We got
down at
shit faced at The
Baltimore.
Voice. I think we got in an argument that night too about something. I forgot what we were. It's what happened when booze starts flying. We got in a pissing match. I do remember The Voice just looking back on. This is cool.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. If you don't know who The Voice is, if you listen to our podcast, the intro for each one of our two of our podcasts and our outro for every podcast on the network is the voice of Fanboys Inc. His real name is not known to anybody
Yeah,
but
I don't-
me.
yeah, nobody
So nobody really knows who he is. Highlights, though, guest-wise, it's hard to pinpoint for me. Mickey was great. Bonnie Peace was
That was
another
awesome.
another great one.
Yeah.
She was really ecstatic about having actually somebody wanting to talk to her. It's like,
Yeah.
you're Aunt Beru.
Yeah.
Granted, maybe the prequel sucked, but it's Aunt Beru.
Yeah.
How can you not? I think a huge highlight would be the guys at the Comic Depot. For us,
Love those guys.
we've been working with them for 3 years. I've known Darren and the guys for about 3 years now.
Where is the Comic Depot?
Just inside Saratoga Springs at 514 Broadway to meet all your fanboy needs. Okay, now I just turned
It's
that
like
color.
one of those speak and says from the 80s. You know, I can just pull a string on DW and he just does that.
It's like ding, fries are done. I could be driving down the road and somebody would be like, Comic Depot, just inside Saratoga Springs. But I've known Darren for about 4 years now. The crew, they were our very first sponsors, advertisers, supporters for this network. And I want to give a huge shout out. They've taken care of us again for another year. Those guys are great,
Yeah.
giving us some great opportunities. We could gush and
Yeah.
cry and be sappy for this whole entire year. A lot of great things
A lot
have
of great
happened.
stuff. But we're looking forward to this year.
Yeah, this
because
year is going to be bigger. I
We already got some fun stuff.
I
that
might
we're
be
working
bald
on, so.
as I pull my hair out
Right?
by the end of the year. Who knows? That's why I'm starting to wear the hat just in case. But yeah, 2016 is going to be huge. We've already got some great things started, some bigger things going. Look for my recap on FanboysInc.com through the Times Union blog. They'll be putting up a little recap of
That'll be
everything
nice.
going on. I had to give it to my
We'll,
eyes, my eye guy, because I'm a shitty writer. So I had to,
We'll post that on all our social
Yes.
stuff and everything, so you guys can read that.
Entertainment-wise, industry-wise, highlights for you, Jeff. I mean, not just personally, but don't say Star Wars because that was too soon.
Well,
but you can if you want. But
Star Wars, I've been waiting for all year.
Right.
So I was
but
super
is
stoked
there a
about that.
huge highlight within the industry, whether it was the comic industry, movie industry, or music, anything that really stood out for you that you were like, wow, was it the could have been Tidal or Apple Music?
Oh, I'm
there?
definitely loving Apple Music. It's been allowing me to get all the albums I've ever wanted, just whenever I want, or when people, like, I was just hanging out with Kane Bear from Death Wish Coffee on on New Year's Eve there, and he was talking about this new band that I had never heard about, and I was able to just go on Apple Music and just I can listen to it, so that was really
As a
fun.
technological highlight, that would be pretty much your
That-
app or your choice right here for that highlight.
Apple Music and Periscope
Okay.
for sure. I use them, more than anything right now, and I'm digging on both of them. And it's fun because both D-Man and myself have been getting a lot of different people on Periscope in the last couple of weeks, and it's fun to watch them like either freak the hell out or just absolutely love it and get so like invested in
Who
it.
talks about jujitsu at 8:30 in the morning?
D-Man
does.
Also, people in Japan and
Yeah.
Brazil, man. That
Which
was
is
a
a different
time.
time of year. What a different time of year, different time of day. What time is it over
I
there?
don't know. It's not that bad
Yeah.
because we're going south. We're not
Yeah.
like moving side to side too far. I mean, I really don't know.
For Japan, it's got to
Oh,
be.
Japan
It's
is
got to be a
different.
whole
Yeah,
day.
no,
Day
definitely.
ahead or a day behind? I think it's a day
no
ahead.
idea.
Day ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brazil is hours behind. I think. I don't think it's a full day.
But entertainment-wise, there was stuff that I was waiting for that it totally was exactly what I wanted it to be. Jurassic World, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Star Wars. I was totally excited for these blockbusters, and they came out, and they were what I wanted them to be. We got Daredevil and Jessica Jones on Netflix. That was exactly what I wanted. I couldn't wait for those. Agent Carter. That was an awesome
was a good one. That was a
show.
good What's your best movie for 2015 for you?
Well, if I can't say Star Wars, I'm going to say Jurassic World.
You can say Star Wars. I mean, it's so recent in your
Yeah.
face. That's why. But it is part of 2015.
I'll say Jurassic World just because I had the most fun. I wasn't expecting the best movie ever, but I wanted to go to that movie and have the same feeling I did when I went and saw Jurassic Park and see dinosaurs on screen and go, wow, this is a lot of fun. And there was a ton of shit I hated in that movie, but on the whole, it was the movie I had the most fun going to the theater and watching.
Okay.
So,
One does not stand out for me.
Jurassic
There's
Park?
not one stands out so much higher than
Yeah.
the rest. I think everything. Everything was pretty on par for
On
me.
par.
Nothing really stood out where I had to go see it more than once. I enjoyed everything that I watched. I mean, even if you listened to last week's Star Wars, I did like it. There was a lot of things that I didn't agree with, but I did enjoy it. But
I got to say, on the converse of that, I was disappointed in the comic book industry this year.
definitely.
Everybody who knows me knows that I'm a straight up Marvel zombie. Like, if Marvel says it's cool, I usually go and buy it. And this year was the first year that I really culled a lot of my pull list from Marvel and DC, and I really collect a lot of the lower tiers now. I collect a lot of IDW, a lot of Image.
You
a
can
lot of
say that you would be
creator-owned stuff.
disappointed, but I think it would be a highlight for you because it's forced you, and we won't get into this because
Right.
of Incast.
We'll talk
but
about this on Incast.
I think it would be a highlight because you move to the smaller guy.
Definitely.
And the smaller guy is definitely, I have to say for IDW, Image is just a given.
Dark Horse.
Boom Studios.
Yeah, they put up
I
some
think
good
this
stuff.
year
Ani
for them,
Press.
Ani Press,
Yep.
those all elevated this year.
Blue Juice.
Blue Juice Comics,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll say that right now. I am a Blue Juice fanatic.
He drinks it by the gallons.
Honestly, they're friends
Blue
of this.
Juice Comics.
They're
D-Man.
friends of this
I
network.
thought it was like a Smurf thing.
No,
It's a Star Wars thing, actually.
That's Blue Milk.
That's why they got the name, though.
They Blue Juice Comics. Those guys are friends and fans of of our network,
Friends
and
of the fam.
I knew them. I knew about them auxiliary from reading articles on Fanboys Inc. before I became a member, and this year was when I really started delving into their 2 titles that they're putting out right now, graphic novel and comic-wise, and that's The Accelerators and Ambani. And my goodness, I am such a fan. Like, I tell people about these books all the time. Like, even if you're not a comic fan, I'm like, you have to go, like, find these books because they're so good. And I
think this appeals to them too. Like, Accelerators, not because they're friends of the family. I've known them. Thomas Mumm is the owner of Blue Juice Comics, which is a subsidiary of Blue Juice Films.
Blue Juice Films,
They do reality TV. Tom is a sound man. He's the sound guy for a small show called AMC's Comic Book Man. He does a lot of other reality TV shows, but that's how I met Tom.
Right.
Even knowing them, the Accelerators, to give you a brief synopsis, a recap of the book, it's time travel in a really weird way. Not a Doctor Who way, not a shitty Marvel way.
Time donuts.
It's a time donut. And it appeals, I think, what is good about an indie book. Self-published. They are not through any publisher but their own. That Blue Juice Comics is a publisher now. It's non-superhero. It's straight up just characters. And I think that's a
super interesting.
I think for 2015, as I've called the Geek Renaissance, and as I've called this the year of the indie, and I think we're going to move into the year even bigger for indies in 2016. This appeals to a bigger market. If you can get out to the market, general public don't feel that, oh my God, I haven't read Superman for years. I don't know where to pick up a book. I don't know what's going on with Batman. Is this the Nolan Batman? Is this the new Batfleck? I don't get it. Here, you have a self-contained, obviously 6 issues, but it's a good jumping point, and it's not capes and cowls. I think it's a broader science fiction fantasy genre, and I think that's bigger than our comic book mantra. And I think they're doing very well with what they're going. And I think we're going to see, my speculation for 2016, because of what's going on in 2015, is we're going to see capes and cowls start to drop, I think. I think we're going to start seeing some of those sales drop.
We're going to be so saturated with that this year, like
in
entertainment-wise. Just entertainment
in
general.
I'm just saying in comics,
movies,
we're going to see, I think we're going to see even some of our heavy hitters, our Batmans, our Supermans, maybe Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a little bit different in a different category. You're going to drop. People are going to want to do more of the Outcasts, the Witches, Black Science, Southern Bastards.
Great
some
books.
of our listeners who aren't in the comics, these are some of the greatest comics that are out there right now that aren't superhero comics. They're from Image, Saga,
East and
West, where anybody can jump on. They will be iconic. Some of these will be iconic characters in books in years to come. But I've seen that shift. I really have seen that shift, even from the store level all the way up. This from what we've been reporting on. I feel that, on top of the fact of not being an Incast episode, Marvel DC, the move from Burbank, I really think hurt DC bad this year. I think they'll hopefully regroup for next year, understand why they're moved to Burbank from New York City. Marvel's shoddy events for the year. When I say events, I mean 12 or 6 issue story arcs that then spawn off 5 more books that then get canceled 3 months later with mediocre success in the events. As Secret Wars, we're still waiting for issue 9 for that to finish, and their new line is already out. I think those little things have affected longtime readers. And to get new readers, longtime readers will be like, no, I just started reading, Lock and Key, which has been out for a while. Another great trade. The Wicked and Divine. Another great book. People are suggesting these other books instead of your Batmans, your Supermans, and so on. So I think we're going to see a shift, and I think Image is going to take, again, another big piece of the pie this year. I think we will be calling them officially the Big Three soon.
I think, regardless of comics, I think entertainment-wise, we're going to get such a saturation of geek renaissance, as you put it. That
movie genre is totally different.
Television, comics, graphic novels. I really think that we're going to start to see a big shift in the industry. And my speculation is we're going to start to see some of these smaller companies get gobbled up by the bigger companies.
Such as, make an example.
Image is doing so well that they might surpass DC in sales this year. If they do that, they might actually start bringing on some of the smaller independents onto an image thing. Whereas like DC has like smaller imprints like Icon and that kind of thing, we might see that
like Vertigo.
We might see that with with Image as well. Also, Marvel Studios, the studio company that puts
movie
out
side.
all the movies, is the first movie studio to ever post this amount of money ever. In a year, they brought in $9 billion
From the entertainment side.
from just the movie side.
Right.
And I'm not talking about Marvel and DC anymore. I'm saying
Marvel
no
Studios.
no movie studio has ever posted those numbers. And that's Paramount, Fox, Universal.
But is that because it's Disney co-op together?
Maybe, but still, that kind of money around. Look at the way Disney has dealt with their business model in the last decade. You know, Disney now owns the Muppets property. They now own Lucasfilm. They now own Marvel. They now own ABC. You know, so I mean, like, you have this amount of monopolistic kind of, you know.
They're gonna buy everybody.
Right. So I'm just saying that we might see that as a shift in the entertainment industry, and I can't even make.
Now, wasn't there something back in the day? Marvel was gonna buy DC.
Yeah, in the 90s.
Yeah. Was that before or after the huge boom?
It was right before it.
Before Image started?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically for people who don't know, back in the 90s, the comics were doing pretty well in the 80s. And
Pretty well.
When
They were doing amazing.
Yeah.
8 million copies sold of Jim Lee's X-Men #1.
Oh, this is before that.
Okay.
What I'm saying
Okay.
is like in the end of the 80s, like the industry was doing pretty good, but DC wasn't. Marvel was doing really well with its X-Men, its Spider-Man, and Fantastic Four, surprisingly. And DC had basically Batman and Superman, but they were gearing up to kill off Superman, which didn't do as well as they wanted it to do. And Batman was kind of in this flux period. So DC, numbers-wise,
The
wasn't doing well.
Schumacher limbo.
Yeah, wasn't really doing well. So before the big boom in the 90s where everybody shifted their printing ways and started printing millions of copies instead of just a few copies of books, it was on the table where Marvel was seriously contemplating buying DC. And then that would have been an amalgamation of everything where we would have seen Batman and Superman dealing with the Avengers and stuff, which would have been crazy to think about. And they really toyed with the idea, and they decided to go against it. And instead of buying DC and rolling the dice, what Marvel did was they invested in taking their properties and selling their properties off. So what happened was the comics industry bankrupted itself because they printed too
That's
many
when Marvel
books.
started selling off its characters, or leasing its characters.
Right. They bankrupted itself, and then Marvel was already in the talks of selling off all their characters, and that's why 20th Century Fox has the rights to X-Men, has
It's
the
funny
rights
that
to
DC
Fantastic
didn't
Four.
do that.
Yeah. DC in that time, Warner Brothers came in and was like, here's some money to help you.
Right.
So Warner Brothers basically
over all the
all of
movie
their
rights for them, right.
properties. So that's
Interesting.
Why,
That is interesting. Very interesting. But, yeah, it's going to be a huge shift. We'll see what happens in 2016. Movie-wise, I don't have anything to stand out. TV-wise, I got to say, for me, there was a couple, but the biggest, for me personally, my best of 2015 TV show is Mr. Robot.
Yeah. I still get to see it. I can't wait.
USA Network.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've heard so many
Awesome.
good
Season
things about
2's
it.
coming.
Ash versus Evil Dead takes it for me, man.
Really?
I think they did such a good job.
Oh,
on that show.
don't get me
It's so
wrong,
much
it's
fun.
right up there.
I love it.
But I love the horror and everything with Ash vs. Evil Dead, but with Mr. Robot, there's that thing. I've always loved the conspiracy theory. I always loved some of the tech side of things, and just it was like a 70s trippy movie.
Yeah.
Without the trippy, like it wasn't all psychedelic shit, but there was some serious stuff going on there.
It's on a lot of people's
Yes.
best of lists,
It's
and it's one
awesome.
of those I have yet to have the time to sit down and
Season
watch. but
2
I'm
is
gonna.
coming. It's what is his name? Pump Up the Volume. Actor from Pump Up the Volume.
Oh God.
Good
God. I'm sorry.
One of my other favorite
Christian
movies.
Slater?
Yes.
Ha ha!
Yes,
Pump
yes.
up the volume.
Well,
I got that.
Don't say ha-ha. I figured you should have got it like that, Mr. Movie Guy.
Well, it took me a minute. I'm like, pump up the volume, man. I haven't seen
the
that
very
in 20
first
years.
movie that I think it gives credit to podcasting way before podcasting was even going on.
Yeah,
It was
before the
Pirate Radio.
turn.
And it's one of the hardest movies to try to find.
Yeah, it's not on anything.
I can't. You can't stream it. You can't find it anywhere. I can't even find it in a $5
That's when
bin.
you said it. I was like, man, I haven't seen that movie in 2 decades. How the hell do I remember who the hell is in that?
That is one of my
Christian
favorite
Slater.
movies. That's in my top 5 of all time.
Nice.
But Mr. Robot is really cool. If you're not familiar, young hacker basically wants to take a major corporation, a U.S. corporation, down and hacking, and there's this sub-theme going on. But it was really interesting to see how that goes. I think you can still get it on. You can't. I don't think it's on Netflix yet, but you can stream it through the USA app.
Oh, okay.
If you have a Time Warner account or a cable
Might be on
subscriber
Hulu.
account. But check that out. Season 2 is coming. And then now we're going to take a small break so you can listen to one of our awesome advertisers, actually the advertiser, Death Wish Coffee. And when we come back, we're gonna go a Game of Thrones, baby. We're gonna
right.
go head to head with myself, Jeff, and Mr. D-Man will be running the show here to see if I lose my throne today. And then we'll be right back.
You need a job. People don't hire ex-cons. You folk make them uncomfortable.
I have a job waiting. A good job.
Would that be the job at the mussel farm?
Maybe.
Nope, you don't. Robbie Burton's dead. Without him, the mussel farm's dead too.
You're a liar.
Of course, and a good one. The best you will ever meet. But I'm afraid I'm not lying to you about this.
He reached into his pocket, produced a newspaper, much folded, and handed it to Shadow.
Page 7. Come on back to the bar. You can read it at the table.
You were just listening to an excerpt from Neil Gaiman's American Gods. That's right, one of the many titles over at Audible.com. Over 180,000 titles. That's right, over 180,000 titles to choose from sci-fi, fantasy, comedy, history, and so much more. And right now, as listeners to Fanboys Inc., you can go over to audibletrial.com/Incast and get a credit for one free download. That's right, one free book of your choice. One of any of the 180,000 titles to choose from, you can get one now for free. So go over to audibletrial.com/Incast and give it a try now.
Welcome back to the DW and Incredible Jeff Show.
Welcome back, everyone, to the DW Incredible Jeff Show, the first show of 2016. As you hear the music, we are starting our Game of Thrones contest that D-Man will be pitting myself and Incredible Jeff. Hopefully we won't lose our pop culture status. It's going to be the best of 2015, different categories. D-Man, you want to start us off?
That's the most metal version of the Game of Thrones theme I think I've ever heard. Is that a real band?
Guys?
Yeah, they all look very...
Norway?
no, they
Sweden?
kind of look more Middle Eastern.
Oh, yeah? What's the name of the band? You guys can all hear this. I thought this song was epic before.
As D-Man's going through that, we are going to be doing a contest between Jeff and I, kind of special subjects.
The Reigns of Castamere?
That's actually a reference from Game of Thrones. So they are a Game of Thrones metal band then.
Yeah, I guess.
That's awesome. I
Why
love
not?
that. There's a couple different like fandoms that do that. I know Doctor Who and Harry Potter both have like multiple bands about just the genre. I think that's fun.
So in the contest, D-Man, we're going to be able to get we'll get 2 Periscope. Phone a Periscope or ask a Periscope fan for a question. So we'll get each of those. We get 2 of those. How's that? Is that good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So you go ahead and take it over, D-Man.
We're going to go with the top 10 trending people of Google searches.
Okay, so people, just straight up.
Straight up people.
Do we do rock, paper,
2015.
scissors to see who goes first?
All right. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay, you go first.
What is it now? Is it just people?
Just people.
Just people.
People that were Googled in 2015.
Ronda Rousey.
You got it. She's number 3.
Okay. Donald motherfucking Trump.
There it is. Number 4.
Yeah, right. Who's wait a minute, hold on. Kardashians, Lamar, damn it.
Kendrick Lamar?
Lamar, damn it. The husband basketball player from the Kardashians,
losing our pop culture.
But it is
credit as we
Lamar.
talk.
I don't know the last name.
I have to give it to him, right? I mean, he's.
I don't know the last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Lamar Odom.
Odom. Okay.
What
Sweet.
number is
okay.
he?
He's number 1.
Yo!
Wow. Well, he's more recent, I guess.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to say Jimmy Fallon.
Let's see here.
Now it's Jeopardy music for
Controlling too many things here.
No.
No, I don't see Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
Harrison Ford.
No Harrison Ford.
Oh.
Okay. Let's see. People that were Googled. Hillary Clinton. I'm gonna go with my political thing.
No.
No.
No. Okay.
Taylor Swift.
Yes. It has to be right.
No, she's not up there.
Not
my
in the
God.
top 10 of Google.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
she's not up there.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Nope.
That was in the 90s, dude. What are you talking about? Let's see. Who else? Who died recently that was very famous? It wouldn't be any of the ones that we talked about earlier today.
Who could it be? Can I steal?
Let's do President Obama.
I like the buzzer.
Oh, crap.
This is failing miserably.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go with
Baba Booey.
Miley Cyrus.
Oh, my God. How many more questions do you want us to go on?
I don't know.
One more round for each of
All right,
us?
I'm going to give a hint
Okay.
for each one.
Okay,
All right.
so it's my turn?
Okay, your turn. I'm going to give you a hint.
Okay.
He was an Olympic gold medalist.
I like the he in quotation marks.
What, is it Bruce Jenner or Chris Jenner? Whichever.
Bruce. It would have been
Yeah,
Bruce.
Bruce
Or
Bruce
Kate.
Jenner?
It's Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn
but
Jenner,
We'll
okay.
give it to you.
Yes, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
All right,
What
and
number was that?
here's
What
a
number was Caitlyn Jenner?
Caitlyn Jenner was number 2.
Oh, so we still
okay.
haven't gotten a number 1.
So
yeah, we did.
We did?
Yeah, it was Lamar.
Yeah, it was Lamar. Odom.
Oh, okay. That's right.
So I'm going to give a hint for number 6.
Okay.
Don't you look at that screen.
I'm not looking over here. Filler.
Let's see. He does a lot of drugs.
That narrows it down.
And he recently was diagnosed.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
Wow, I
he-
didn't even think about that.
Was it Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie
Yeah.
Sheen comes in at number 6.
Okay, is we going to do one more round and then call it, or we want to go a couple more rounds?
Well,
we'll
we
go
got
one
other
more-
things to talk
one
about.
more round?
Too,
We'll
yeah.
go. Geez, the rest are kind of a little
You're looking
bit.
at that screen. I see you
I
beacon.
can't read.
Cheating here on
So
Game of Thrones.
we'll move to a different list because
Okay.
the rest on here are a little bit like I think a little bit out of our generation.
Give them to us.
Okay.
So we got Ruby Rose at number 5.
Oh, okay.
She's kind
Yeah.
of some sort of
Yeah.
MTV VJ.
Okay.
Bruce Williams at number 7.
Uh-huh.
He's a CNN guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. And we got Rachel Dolezal,
Oh,
Don't
right.
know who's Rachel Dolezal.
blackface.
The girl who said she was black that everybody thought she wasn't black.
Oh,
and-
okay, okay.
Yeah.
We got Adele at number 9.
Adele. Oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay. Who's number 10?
Josh
Duggar.
Duggar.
Yeah.
Okay. Josh Duggar. I'm not
Yeah.
familiar.
Just news. Like
Okay.
it's not entertaining.
Okay.
Eh.
Okay. What do we got next, D-Man? So on that round, it's a 3-2.
Oh man.
Who got 3?
He
Oh
did.
man, DW.
And we both still have our Periscope uses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the Rotten Tomatoes top 100 list of movies, and
We're only gonna do the top.
we're gonna
10 now.
we're gonna do the top 10.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's gonna be of 2015, by
Of
the way.
2015.
Of this.
Can I
this
just say it
past
first,
year.
and you can
I
give me
know
a
you're
point?
going to say it because I would have said it too.
Star Wars.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's on there.
Oh, I'm gonna go home.
Just wanted to see your face. I'm sorry. That was me.
Jeff got
funny.
Star Wars. Jurassic Park.
Jurassic World or
Jurassic World, yeah.
Yeah, it's up there. By the way, Star Wars is number 4, and Jurassic World, where was that? Well, maybe it's not up here.
Oh really? Top 10?
It's not up here.
Oh,
shit.
damn.
So I'm gonna keep going with blockbusters. Now remember, this is Rotten Tomatoes, so this is the top ones that got the best score from the people who use Rotten Tomatoes. So it's not just critics. So I'm gonna guess. Avengers. I'm gonna go Avengers.
Okay.
No Avengers.
No Avengers. All right.
Fast and Furious 7.
Furious 7.
That was a good guess, but it's not
Damn.
up there.
Wow.
We're just swinging and missing.
Yeah.
I'll go to Periscope. You know, if you guys want to help me out.
You're going to use your Periscope?
Yeah, if you guys want to help me out.
Periscope,
for a movie,
guys, if you have an idea what would be the top 10 for 2015 movies, give Jeff a little help here and shout out some movies for Jeff.
And I'll use it next one because I can only think of one more. I'm gonna say Mad Max, Fury Road.
Yeah, that's on there.
All
Actually, that one is that one's number 1.
Oh,
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Number one?
and I think it well deserves it. By the
I
way,
guess.
that's a good one.
I don't know.
I wouldn't put that at
I wouldn't have put that at 1.
No.
Wow.
Wow. What was do we know the score on Rotten Tomatoes, what that was for?
So
100
just
probably.
for example, it's I don't know what the numbers are. It says number of reviews, and then it goes the percentage.
Yeah.
So
What's the percentage?
97%.
Yeah, that's how they rated it. It would be
Yeah.
97%.
But
That's
that's
pretty good.
333 reviews on that.
Okay, so
you're
it's
up
to
2-0.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm going to
boy.
use Periscope next time if anybody wants to chime in with a movie. So.
Frozen.
Was that this year?
That wasn't even this year, man.
Yeah, I think it's been
damn
in
it,
the
I'm
pop
really-
culture
I'm really-
lexicon.
Oh, what's up, Manny? Oh, man.
Okay,
I'm
so
bombing on this.
it's on to me. I haven't seen anything come across Periscope yet, so I'm going to make another choice. I'm going to say, God, movies, Rotten Tomatoes, top 10 of 2015. What movies came out that was like, oh, I got it, Minions.
Yeah, no, that's not on there.
Oh, I'm 2-0 here.
This is a tough one. Like, I mean,
Yeah, it is a weird list.
Periscope, go ahead and start throwing
Yeah.
up some of your movie suggestions, the top 10 movies in 2015 through Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, man.
I don't know.
I even want to throw out hints, but like, there's
This
only
is-
one more on here that I recognize that you guys haven't named yet.
Really?
I mean, that's me, but I mean,
Wow.
That's
oh
crazy.
no, I recognize.
Is
that
there,
one.
There's one. Oh, we said Star Wars. That was the first thing I said. Which
yeah, Star
which
Wars was the first one. That was
is-
number 4.
is number 4. So, I mean, okay, so that's 4. Mad Max is 1. So it's definitely a weird list. I already said Jurassic World.
Yeah. I'm going to pass.
Okay. I'm going to say, I'm going to say Creed.
Yeah, no, it's not on there.
Wow.
I'm gonna give DW a hint.
Okay.
All right.
Matt Damon.
Oh, The Martian.
You got it.
Yes.
What number is The Martian?
The Martian is at number 7.
Oh.
93%.
Okay.
I got to say, I saw an article recently. I think it was either on BuzzFeed or Reddit, and it was somebody did the crunch the numbers and figured out how much money we've spent saving Matt Damon in movies, and it's over $900 billion.
Nice,
We've spent
nice.
trying to save Matt Damon from
All
movies.
right, Jeffrey, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna say, gosh, man, I'm trying to think of like good movies, but like obscure movies.
Hangover 3.
No.
I think it come out like 4 years ago.
Yeah. God, I don't know. Gonna say Ant-Man.
Yeah. No.
No.
All right, I'm going to use my Periscope
out
because I
there.
just came
I
up.
mean, if
I'm gonna use my
anybody
Peris-
names any of these, I'm going to be really
Okay, I'm
surprised.
going to use my Periscope, so I'm going to go down. American Sniper.
Not up there.
All right. Brooklyn.
You got it, buddy.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's number 5.
I'm surprised. I have not seen this movie.
98%, by the way,
Yeah.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
I have not seen this movie,
180
and the reason why I
reviews.
know it's a movie is because recently there's been a lot of talk about this movie and about the acting and the cinematography and everything. And I really don't know much about the movie other than I keep hearing about it. So that's why I threw it out there because I figured maybe that's why.
Interstellar?
Periscope gave somebody.
I did, but I'm not going to use it. Interstellar?
No.
That wasn't. Was that this year? That was
No,
this year.
I think that might have been 2014.
Yeah,
I
I
could
think
be
so, too.
wrong.
I saw it, but I'm not going to use it yet.
Okay, so it's up to me. This game's getting tougher and tougher because it's just like, now I'm second guessing myself because none of the movies that I went actually to the theater to see probably are on this list, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass. I mean, I
right.
think we might have to wrap this category
I'm gonna
up,
use
like-
my Periscope Inside Out.
Inside Out is number 2.
Yes.
98%, 301 reviews.
I'm all Periscoped out for the rest of the game.
I like I liked that movie. It was an odd Pixar movie, but it was still a Pixar movie, so it's good.
So after that, we got number 3 is Selma at 99%.
Okay.
Whatever that one was.
No, I remember that coming out. I didn't think that would be that high on this list, but
Number 6 was Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah, Avengers
Ah,
wasn't on the list.
yeah, I know.
No, that's weird.
Number 8 was Spotlight.
Never heard of Spotlight. Shaun the Sheep was an animated film.
Number 9 was It Follows.
Oh, yeah,
wow,
everybody's
really?
That's right. Everybody talked about that movie this year, and I still have yet to see it. But it's been heralded as like the return to form of a horror movie, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to this podcast or on Periscope have seen it and can attest to that. But it's one of those movies that has just slipped through the cracks for me. But I remember hearing so much about it.
All right, we're tied 1-1 here.
And number
You can
10,
sit on
by
my
the
lap,
way,
Jeff,
is-
if we're tied for the throne.
Number 10, by the way, is a movie called Room.
Ooh, don't know that one. All right, what do we got next, D-Man?
Woof,
Oh,
man, we
man.
are just failing miserably over here. This should be the final round, I think.
Yeah, we need a tiebreaker here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna look through the Google Trends here. We have
Okay.
I don't know, we could do celebrity pregnancies.
Donald Trump.
There's athletes, actors, there's movies. We could do most Googled movies.
Most Googled. Would that be a better list than we just went through?
Definitely.
All right. 2015.
And they don't share many here. There's not many crossovers in this list.
Okay.
All right. So top 10.
Top 10
movies-
most Googled movies.
Most Googled movies of 2015. You go first because you're in the lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No, I'm not in the lead. We're tied.
Oh, yeah, we're tied. Okay. So you go first because I said go first.
And this is not movies that necessarily came out in 2015.
Just movies.
Just movies that were Googled the most in
Gotcha.
2015.
I'm going to go for American Sniper again.
It's number 2.
All right. I am going to go for Star Wars. Right? Come on.
Wow, it's not on there.
Yeah.
And even The Force Awakens, it's not on there? Wow.
It's not on there, man.
Avengers Age of Ultron.
I was,
That is number 8.
man.
Herb stealing it here.
Well, I'm getting burned by having no Star Wars. I'm gonna go pout now. Okay, so most Googled movies of 2015. I'm gonna say Back to the Future.
Oh man, get out of here with that shit.
Nothing?
Seriously,
No.
it was the anniversary of Back to the Future, and that's not one of the top 10 Googled?
I'm going to say
That sucks.
Frozen. Well, what the hell? You never
All right,
know.
2 more rounds. Here we go.
Okay, so
You got to steal this back, Jeff.
I'm trying. I'm thinking movies that were Googled in 2015
But not necessarily.
that were in
Right,
2015,
right.
but movies that were Googled. The Godfather.
Ooh.
Getting to really like that sound.
Let's do Furious 7.
You got it, buddy.
Yes.
I think
I think he wins.
I think you have to come out with something. I'm gonna do
gonna
a,
double-
a power round. If
the
somebody,
power round,
If you
okay.
can get number 1,
Ooh.
which hasn't been named yet,
First movie Googled.
I'm gonna give. Will 2 points give him some
be a
sort of?
tie.
Yeah, he'll be down 1.
Or I'll be down 1.
Yeah, it's
So
3-0 now.
I'm gonna make it a tie, and then
if
you
can get number 1.
and then you can respond.
All right.
Oh boy, with number 1.
So number 1 Googled movie of 2015 that doesn't necessarily have to be a 2015 movie. Jurassic Park or Jurassic World.
You got it.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Like, really?
My God.
Oh, Which one was it? Was it Jurassic Park or Jurassic World?
It's Jurassic World.
Awesome.
Shit.
Oh,
now we're
man.
tied.
Most,
now.
I think
most
he just.
Google movie.
I think he's.
You just look at that screen.
No way. No, I've been trying to stare.
I don't even
as
have it up
close-
right now.
Yeah,
He pulled out Incredible Jeff.
I sure did.
Wow.
Incredible Jeff, everybody.
First time.
You heard it
All
here
right.
first.
Shit, now we're tied.
All right. Now I'm gonna say, if Herb gets one right, he's
Uh-huh.
gonna steal it and win.
Okay.
If he gets it wrong, then
Uh-huh.
it passes to you.
Uh-huh.
And this is
This is like
a
sudden
death
death.
round.
Wow, sudden
starting
death.
with her
Game of Thrones.
movies.
Most Googled, 2015.
Most Google 2015. You haven't named number 3, 4,
5 or 6.
3, 4, 6, 7, 9, or
Most
10.
movie.
I know it's a rough category.
Most searched movie in 2015.
I can't believe Back to the Future wasn't on that. That really makes me sad. Or Star Wars. Either of them. Kind of nerd.
Now, when we say Star
Renaissance
Wars, does that
exists.
mean any Star Wars movies?
Yeah, no, there's no
Yeah,
Star
no
Wars.
Star
He would have
Wars
given
movies.
that to me.
Yeah,
It would have been
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I know, right? Then you start second guessing yourself.
Minions.
You got it, buddy.
All right.
Yes! I retained
right.
the throne
Yeah.
now. Woo!
You still have FBI.
That's 2 Game of Thrones I've won right now.
Yeah.
Overall. Holy crap, that's too funny.
Minions. What were the rest on the list there? I'm so curious.
All right, rest on the list. We got number 2 was American Sniper. Number 3 was Straight Outta Compton. Number 4, 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, wow.
Number 6, I can't believe you guys didn't get this. Pitch Perfect 2.
Oh,
definitely not.
Okay.
Number 7 was Inside Out. 9 was Minions. 10 was Mad Max.
All right.
Yeah, it's a
All right. So that's a little bit more current, but I mean,
I retained the throne.
seriously though, no Star Wars, no Back to the Future.
I was actually surprised about the Star Wars, but maybe they didn't have to look for it because it was
Everywhere.
being shoved down their
Yeah,
throat.
I
it
guess.
could have been. And it
But
was
Back
so
to the
new
Fu-
coming out, too.
Back to the Future. This is the year last year, 2015.
But
was
everybody
the year they
knows
went
Back to the Future, so why would they Google it?
I don't know. It was the year that it was. They did all that promotional stuff for it. They came out with comic books. They came out with the new
Right.
Blu-ray. They came out with the behind-the-scenes featurette. They came out with a bunch of YouTube stuff. They made the Jaws 19 movie trailer.
right.
And Doc and Marty did that. What was it, like a Ford commercial or like one of those, like some Fusion car commercial? Or
I thought that was
something like
Toyota.
Toyota, yeah. So I mean, like they did all that stuff because
Maybe they didn't
went
have to
back
Google
the
it then. It was
future.
just everywhere, like D-Man said. It's
true.
everywhere. Let's talk a little bit about your subject. You're the music man. What do we got for top best albums in 2015?
I told D-Man to find a top list, and Billboard is definitely where to go because they're the ones that are at least keeping the most of the records up. And we looked through this list. We were going to do this for Game of Thrones. I don't think I know anybody on. Well, that's not true. I know a couple of the people on this list, but like it's a lot of music, I guess, that just we're not listening to. That is the top of 2015.
I've been in a classic mode anyway.
Yeah?
Either
like classic,
hip-hop.
like I would think.
Well,
like
no,
Mozart.
I mean I'll do not the classical.
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 some Beethoven.
Classic 70s rock. I've been really getting back into that again.
Yeah.
Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, that kind of stuff. And then you heard what was in the studio. I mean, I'll go right to Redman.
Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, I'll do some of that, the classic stuff there.
That
I've been
was
back-
a terrible Busta Rhymes impression. I just want to stop you for a second.
You know what was terrible
That was so
impression of
terrible.
Busta Rhymes was the New Year's special.
The New Year's special
They did one in Miami with
Busta Rhymes.
was Busta Rhymes and who's that bald white rapper?
Pitbull?
Yes. And Busta
Oh, no.
Rhymes.
They did it this year?
Yeah, they did it this year for the ball dropping.
for the
in
ball
Miami,
drop?
yeah,
Oh,
in
wow.
Miami.
Yeah, I didn't
and-
watch the ball
and
drop.
Busta,
neither did I. Now that I
and
think about
Busta
it.
Rhymes got a little busted. I mean, he's huge.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he's been working out for quite some time.
Yeah. No.
Oh, he's big. Oh.
Yeah, he's got Jabba gut.
Oh. It's been a while since
Right.
I've seen Busta Rhymes. It's
He
been a while
was
since I thought
sweating
about
like a
him.
pig and running around. I'm like, that's not the Busta I know.
Was he the ball dropping?
yeah, both of them.
So what was the number 10 album of the year according to Billboard magazine?
So number 1 is not too surprising. Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Kendrick Lamar has been everywhere.
actually-
Taylor
pretty
Swift
good.
was Taylor Swift in the top 10?
No, Taylor Swift, this is what's funny about the music industries, especially pop stars can ride their music for a lot of years. Taylor Swift's last album, the one that's still churning out hits,
Yeah.
1989, came out in 2014.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, like, Yeah. So she's not on. She's probably not on this list at all because I don't think she came out with anything new. She's still
riding
writing
the
that
rave.
album. Yeah.
Number 2 is Hamilton, original Broadway cast.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
So that's all over the place.
So an original cast recording. That's kind of cool. I've heard good things about that show. Don't really want to see it, but I've heard good things.
Number 3 is Art Angels by Grimes.
Okay.
Yeah. Number
Yep.
4 is Summertime '06 by Vince Staples.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like a Joy Division cover.
Number 5 is 25 by Adele.
All right.
There you go.
At least I know that. I own that album.
Number 6 is In Color with a U, by the way. COLOUR.
Gotcha.
All right.
In living color.
By Jamie Double X or
Jamie
XX,
Double X? I
or
wonder if
20? Is it 20?
Wow.
Jamie
Yeah, is it
20?
double X? Is it 20?
It's crazy because
Is it
like,
two? Is it really
I hope-
rest of the face of two passed out? Somebody passed out with their eyes X'd out?
I hope people are listening to this right now and are like, "How could you not know who these people are?"
I know,
Like,
they
I
totally
don't know every.
Number 7 is actually good. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. A band called the Alabama Shakes.
Oh yeah.
Sound and Color.
Excellent.
Really?
Excellent.
I don't never heard of them.
Go get the
it's
Sound
like
and Color.
Motown,
Yeah.
Okay.
jazzy. It's so good.
And it's
So
one of those albums. It's one of those rare albums in this day and age because we're living in a musical age again, like the '50s, where it's more lucrative and more in a smarter idea to write the single and not the album.
Right.
So
right.
you're getting a lot of singles and B-sides instead of a full album. The Alabama Shakes album that came out is one of those rare times that you can. It's great the
Right.
whole way. It's like there's not a single
talented
track.
group, man.
Yeah.
There's not a single
Super
track
talented.
that's like weak on that album. It's excellent. That would be number one.
It's
for
soul,
me.
man.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it
Yeah.
out. I'll have to check it out.
Number 8 is Black Messiah by D'Angelo.
Is this 1995?
Yeah,
I don't know.
right?
Number 9 is actually an album that I liked. I Love You, Honey Bear by Father John Misty.
Yeah,
Not as good
you've
as his
been-
first one, but I still liked it a lot.
I learned about Father John Misty actually from UD, man, and he's an interesting musician.
He picked up some track, man.
Yeah.
He's huge now.
Yeah.
All his shows are sold out, and he's on TV everywhere. It's pretty intense.
Yeah. What was I was just watching a show where they referenced him. Was it Aziz Ansari's new show? I think it was. They were saying they were going to
out
a
concert.
they were going to
Is
a
that
concert.
No Man's Land?
No, Master and None.
Master and None.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's
Yeah,
the
It's
one.
actually
Good show.
really good.
Yeah, it was
I'm
funny.
Surprised. And number 10 was Something More Than Free by Jason Isbell.
Huh.
Good for
Interesting.
him.
Very eclectic top 10 going on there.
Yeah, I did.
As we're going through top 10s, and we were just talking about music, most favorite soundtrack.
Of movies
Yes.
or Broadway? Okay.
No, Broadway. Who the fuck watches Broadway?
I could give you a favorite soundtrack of a Broadway musical, but
Go on another podcast for that.
all right, fine.
Grab your tutu and get the hell out of here. No, just
We're going to start a new Fanboys Broadway podcast with
Hey.
Incredible Jeff.
All right.
Hello.
Oh my God. First of all of Broadway's not
The
gay.
pink kryptonite again.
Goodness.
Sorry, that was bad.
Too
soon.
Okay, so favorite movie soundtrack.
Yeah, what-
is
For you?
for me?
Yeah.
It's
Star
two-
Wars.
No, it's twofold because I really consider soundtracks either the classical sense where you go get a
Or do you
John
wanna-
where you go get a
would you-
John Williams, or it's a soundtrack.
Do you want me to break it up? Do you want to do favorite instrumental soundtrack?
I have both.
Okay.
My favorite instrumental soundtrack is the soundtrack to The Crow. It's done by the composer Graham Revel, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I can listen to that all the time. And my favorite soundtrack, like that's comprised of songs for a movie, is wow, just escaped to me, but then it came back. Is Tommy Boy.
Oh, okay.
Love that soundtrack. It has some fun music on it, and it's one of the. It's like a mixtape that I made myself. So I those are my two. Yeah.
We need the like the sad Hulk music for this. We'll get that for next time. I will go with you. Just the opposite. I will go with the music soundtrack of The Crow,
Yeah.
not the instrumental.
Yeah.
The-
It's
the-
got some great tracks on
Dude,
it.
I still
Thrill
listen to
Kill
that.
Call?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
still
love that
listen to
stuff.
that. I think there's one song on there that I just don't like.
Yeah.
But the rest of them I'll play over and over and over. That still resonates with me. And I'm going old school again. Soundtrack, the original Predator.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I used to draw and draw and draw with all that because it goes mellow and then it gets intense and goes
Cool.
mellow. It was really cool. That's an awesome soundtrack.
The movie Blow.
Yeah, you like that soundtrack?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
That
cool.
changed my taste in music for
Yeah.
sure.
Whoa, Black Betty.
Yeah.
TV soundtracks.
Oh, man.
TV show soundtracks, Supernatural for me. It's all classical 70s rock, and it fits perfectly with every one of their scenes. It's a really good. I know you don't watch it, but
I don't, and mine would be a cop out answer because of
Simpsons.
Of course, the soundtrack, the soundtrack to the
Damn,
Simpsons.
do I get 3 points for the next game on that one?
I mean, the between the songs they make up and the songs they parody and the actual songs they have on it, it's like no, there's nothing better. I actually own every Simpsons album that they came out with because the Simpsons back in the 90s when they first got big.
You know that incredible status you just got?
That's fine. That's fine. The back in the 90s with the Simpsons, Bart was like the main focus. Whereas
right.
Now it's Homer who's basically the main. But when Bart was, they did 2 albums that were basically songs that never appeared in the show. They were It was like. It was like the Partridge Family, like having their band and like coming out with albums, So they did these 2 different records. One was The Simpsons Sing the Blues, where they did a bunch of blues music, which was weird. And then they did another one, which was the one that had the Do the Bartman on it, that Michael Jackson
I remember,
wrote.
yes, Do the Bartman. Yeah.
And so they did those 2 albums, but then they've came out, I think, with 3 other albums of music literally that's been on the show. Because they've done so many song parodies, they've done original songs. There's multiple versions of the theme. Like they've done parodies in the show. Like they famously did a Hill Street Blues parody, which was that awesome television show back in the day. And then they did the Simpsons theme as that TV theme. And they've done that a couple times. They did it Star Wars style. They did it, all the different things. So like, I have all that. So yeah, I can be mediocre for that. That's fine. But I'll love the Simpsons until they finally.
D-Man's falling asleep over here.
They finally get off the air. Sorry, that was my Simpsons rant. But I can actually tell you, going back to the 2015 thing, I can actually tell you my top albums for this year. Like I already mentioned the Alabama Shakes, but 2 other albums came out this year that I think are totally worth
Are these
mentioning.
like your picks for listeners to go listen to? Yeah.
And they both, well, no, one came out a little bit ago, but the one came out just recently, and it's Baroness's new album, Purple. I still can't stop listening to it. If you like really progressive kind of, groovy rock metal stuff, it's pretty great. And my top pick, and I've been telling everybody about this, is this band called Gunship. That they're out. They're from across the way and across the pond and out of the UK, and it was comprised of a band that was in like this kind of grindcore band. I think it was a grindcore band or something.
It was it's more like
emo-core,
post-core.
One of those.
Fight Chip or Fight Star?
Oh, Fight Star. That's the name of the band, right? And so the singer.
I know, right?
So the singer of that band decided to do like a solo project. So the other band members were like, "Well, we've always wanted to do this project." So they did this band called Gunship, where they made music that sounds like it's directly out of 1985 movies. Like
it's all
the
neon
most
and
epic
8-bit.
stuff, yeah,
it's
ever.
Great.
And they did it for the sense of just seeing if movies wanted to use it again. And
seriously,
came out
go
with
to
it in
YouTube right now
and do Gunship.
Well, after
look
this
up
podcast,
Gunship, Fly for Your Life.
Yeah.
And you will be blown away visually.
No kidding.
Yeah.
They use a Polish animated film.
Yeah, they do.
It's a dogfight. It's like
no kidding.
World War I style dogfight.
I showed it.
Snoopy and the Red Baron.
It's
so
good.
good.
I found this music randomly online. A friend of mine on social media was talking about them, and I respect his taste in music, so I went and seeked it out and watched the video. And I loved it so much, I showed my wife, and she fell in love with it because we love 80s music anyway. So I was like, I know she's going to like this. And like a couple days later, we had been listening to it and listening to it and listening to it. Went over to D-Man's house, and I was all nervous because I was like, I want to show you this thing that I can't stop listening to, but I think it's really weird because it's just like it's like that 80s epic. It's like you're watching Airwolf,
right?
It's like that kind of thing.
Even the openings to
the
they look like Nintendo game.
Oh, nice
openings.
Oh,
nice.
It's really great.
Yeah, so that's my pick of the year is Gunship.
I have to bring one up, and it's not because of recent events with Paris, but I bought this album when it came out. The day it came out, Zipper Down by Eagles of Death Metal, which is a great feel-good party album. It is so much fun. A lot of, the drummer is Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age.
Yep. Okay.
And they do all the recordings right at their own studio, and they do everything on the album. And it was a really amazing album. I really enjoyed it. A lot of great textures to it. Unfortunately, it comes with all this baggage of the recent Paris attacks on the Bataclan and all the deaths in Paris.
Sucks.
But yeah, great album.
Nice.
Great album. And just, I feel like how they responded as the band members specifically is pretty encouraging. The Vice interview with the band.
Yeah, that was
cool.
really
Very
good.
Really amazing.
A positive environment. Okay, that's cool.
And then they did that show with U2.
Yeah.
As
U2 invited them up on stage and they
that's
played.
cool.
And
it was pretty good.
That's pretty crazy.
As we wind the show down, we're obviously in 2016. This is the first episode. Let's talk about as we wind the show down. What are you most excited for to see coming in 2016?
Man,
you got to give it a top. We can't say, "Oh, I like this, this, and this."
Okay,
we got to give it a top.
Straight up, what I'm excited for.
For movies.
For
Well, we
movies?
can say movies and comics or movie TV series. We can break it up into sections.
Movies. I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm super excited for Captain America 3. I know it might be the weakest movie of the bunch, and I'm excited for other ones too. But I'm a sucker for them. Can't wait for that. Television. Daredevil season 2.
Okay.
I cannot wait to see The Punisher. Hopefully,
We saw leaked footage of that, leaked photos of that earlier this week.
I hope it's good. He's
sure
one of
it
those
is.
characters that they always get wrong, and we'll see. I really do.
If it's the same crew that did the episode season
You're
1,
totally
I'm
right.
Sure, I'm
so
sure it'll be fine.
I'm super excited for that. And for books, man, or comics or whatever. There's some stuff that's coming in the pike that I'm a little bit excited for, but I don't know. I'm excited for the things that I don't know about, I guess. Yeah, because I found a lot of new gems this year, and I'm excited to find some new ones.
I'm not excited for any of the books because, sadly, any of the comics, I should say, sadly, I haven't even picked up any of the new Marvel Now stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still behind. I think we're at the issue 3 on Doc Strange. I haven't even picked up issue 1 yet. TV series on the small screen, I'm going Outcast from Cinemax.
Nice.
February, I believe it's
Yeah.
out, 2nd or 4th.
Yeah. It's coming
A Kirkman special coming to Cinemax. It is based on a comic book by Kirkman. Go figure.
Book, yeah.
Excellent book.
It's about demonic possession
Yes.
instead of being
no
zombies.
zombies, but it's right up there, like with Scott Snyder does Witches for DC's Vertigo. Very horror-esque, supernatural. Not a lot of dialogue in this book, but I forgot the artist name. Hold on. It's good that I have it right here.
Right.
Who is the artist there? Zedekiah. I'll put that up here for everybody to see. He does very well with the artistic choices and the panel selections that he does with the book. You don't need a ton of dialogue. You know what it reminds me of? Matt Dow Smith.
Yeah, definitely.
His style
he's
that
got
way.
that
So that's
style.
pretty cool. TV shows.
You said Outcast.
Oh yeah, I did say Outcast.
Movies.
Movies. It's that one is tough for me. I told you couldn't break it down and tie. Doc Strange.
Yeah. I'm
I
excited.
Mean,
See,
don't
that's
get me
another
wrong,
one.
BVS is really up there, but Doc Strange, after seeing first looks here,
He looks so good.
it looks perfect.
He looks just like
if
the
you haven't
comic.
seen it yet, just take a look here for our Periscope viewers. Very cool. Cumberbatch is, I think, going to do an excellent job. Through his interviews, he was saying that he is very nervous.
Yeah.
About his fingers and his positioning because he knows the fans are very particular on how to do a spell, and he's been practicing all his finger movements.
I got
True fanboy move there.
But
Yeah.
I think that's very cool that
Yeah.
he's taking the time because we've seen a lot of. I have a few friends that are in karate or jiu-jitsu or whatever, and they watch these movies and these fight scenes. Oh, it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. I mean, not that magic is real, but him to take the time, because there are books out there.
The
If
source
you wanted,
material is
the
there,
source material on how to do a spell. He wants to get it right, and going back through whoever it's Ditko or Buscema, going back and looking at the comics. I think that's very cool of him, and that's what makes him the actor up here, not the actor here. He takes that extra step to get those right. So I'm really excited to see that.
I'm excited for that movie. I mean, what worries me about it is magic on screen It either works or it doesn't. You know, I mean, like.
Give me an example of both.
Okay.
Can you give me an example of both?
Yeah, I mean, like, it depends on your level of, of time putting into it, but it also, and technology, I guess, but it also depends on the vision of the director or the writer of the movie for what the magic should look like. And I guess, I don't know, it works really well in a movie like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, where they're putting a lot of effort behind the effect, and they have that, they have a good source material and good for the vision. But I guess it doesn't work. I can't think of
throwing glitter at you in Legend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too far back. Like, I would say, like, the magic in like, Highlander looks like crap, but I mean, like, that's because they didn't have the effect capability.
Right.
In effect capability now, I can't think of a specific example, but there's things that work and things that don't. A lot of people were saying that the way that Scarlet Witch's powers worked in Avengers: Age of Ultron either worked or don't. There's people on either camp, I feel like...
Well, they don't necessarily... Before Doc Strange, there was no magic. Truth. It was science-based or whatever.
Truth.
So that's going to change, and maybe her use or the way they make her use her magic will change after Doctor Strange.
I got an example for bad magic. Okay. Even though this isn't magic, quote-unquote, because it's a different thing in the comic book universe. Think of the Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds. Just because the vision of that movie was to make it so stylized and so...
But that's not magic.
It isn't magic, but if you look at it like magic, instead of it being powered by the Green Lantern, he's using magic. That was their vision for the way this green, power worked, and it didn't.
Right.
So,
there's a lot of things that didn't work on that.
Right, but I mean, even the visual look of the power set didn't work, and that's all I'm...
So you're saying Harry Potter is probably the best magic we've seen?
Even that's got its problems, and I'm a huge fan of Harry Potter. I would say probably Lord of the Rings probably did it the best because they didn't focus so hard on the spell itself. They just, are on the effect itself. They just
look like they use a lot more natural effects with lighting,
right,
and stuff like that. A little bit more.
So we'll see, because this movie is going to be so magic based. I mean, he is the sorcerer supreme.
Right.
I'm
There's
worried,
going to be
but
CGI.
I'm excited.
There's going to be a ton.
Definitely,
of
but
CGI.
it's just the vision of
They're
whoever's
use
behind
real
it.
magic.
Yeah, they're going to use.
Don't laugh. There's practicers out there that will turn you into a toad. Pan's Labyrinth for me.
Yeah.
I thought was good visually. Yeah, and there was magic in that, and I did like that. It did give me the sense of the labyrinth back in the day, but I thought they did a good job with the way they produced it.
And again,
as far as bad
that's
magic,
on the vision of someone,
Magic, I mean, Twilight.
Ugh.
It's not necessarily magic,
it's not
but it's
necessarily
supernatural.
Magic, but they did it bad. It
right.
was a bad effect to
and
it.
Their vampires were based on supernatural.
That's right. People come to the DW and Incredible Jeff show so we can rip apart Twilight.
I think anytime they use glitter in magic in movies, I think that's where you go wrong.
You think?
Yeah.
I guess.
You can't use glitter.
Yeah.
Well, as we wind it down, our good friends over at Entertainment Weekly do a must list. We don't necessarily always agree here, but we like to try to give you guys some suggestions, what they think of. So this week's is brought to you by Entertainment Weekly. The must list. Number 1, Concussion.
As Will Smith flick.
As Bennett Omulu, is it Omulu? A doctor taking on the NFL. Will Smith is definitely understated in this deeply disturbing true story that's also an immigrant tale about a man who refuses to believe that America isn't the best place on earth. It's rated PG-13. I've heard a lot of great things about it.
That shit's scary,
but it is scary as far as the concussions and why they're hiding them and the inside, behind the dark curtain of the NFL.
The science that they're finding behind that is becoming more and more real, just with the hormone imbalances later.
I mean, back in the day, it was the don't take that cortisone shot because it's gonna screw you up with scar tissue and everything else. That was a big thing back in the 70s and 80s. But now, as they're seeing, the helmets aren't as protective as we think they are. You can still get serious concussions.
It makes it worse because you use your head to smash into stuff, and it's not about the big hits. It's about the large amount of small
metal hits. Right,
they're finding it in soccer.
So it'll be interesting to see. I know it's had some controversy, but you know what? Any good movie is going to have some controversy.
Will Smith needs a win.
He does need a win.
This movie flops for him.
You're not excited about Suicide Squad?
he's not going to carry that movie. I mean, even if that movie does well,
Who's going to carry that movie?
I don't know. I personally don't think that movie's going to do well. But I mean, if it does well,
I think it's going to do well. I'm not
I
stoked
think it
for
looks
but
like
I think
whoever I can't remember her name, who's playing Harley Quinn, is kind of
Margot Robbie.
Margot
seems
Robbie.
like-
I think Jerry Leto's going to steal the show. He may not lead the film, but I think he's going to steal
All
the show.
all I'm saying is even if that's a smashing success, Will Smith isn't going to get necessarily a huge win from it. He's not going to be a central character.
I bet,
he's going to
I bet
be
you he's the
bigger
most paid character actor on that
probably.
film for sure. Number 2 on the must list, books. Presents by Amy Cuddy. Amy Cuddy. Chances are you're one of the more than 3 million people who have seen social psychologist Cuddy's TED Talk about power poses. Here she explains further how to use your own body language to achieve personal fulfillment. Yeah. Well, it's not for all of us, but there might be some people. Music. Hit and Run Phase 2. Prince.
Yeah, this has been teased for a little bit.
His Purpleness second stealth album of 2015 finds him continuing his late period winning streak. Phase 2 delivers even more bedroom jams, funk spasms, and white knuckle rockers, as well as the uplifting tearjerker of a protest single called Baltimore.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what half that meant.
And he's going to...
Yeah, what is bedroom? What does he sound like, Barry White?
No, he sounds like Prince.
Oh, yeah.
Prince is perfect for the bedroom.
For you guys out there that are interested in podcasts, obviously, as you're listening to us, podcast number 4 is going to be Here's the Thing.
Boo.
Alec Baldwin. It's not bad, dude.
I don't care. Alec Baldwin doesn't need to be in a podcast, darn it.
I don't know. It wasn't bad. I've listened to a couple episodes. Host Alec Baldwin is equal parts interviewer and reenactor on the bi-weekly talk show featuring celebrity guests and lesser-known policymakers and cultural taskmakers that are intellectually stimulating as it is raucously entertaining. Hey, it's not for everybody. You may not. I enjoyed it. Don't give me the losing horn. Number 5, movies. Animalasia? Is that how you say it? Anomlisa. Spell it. Hooked on phonics worked for me. Charlie Kaufman's prognostic look at what it means to be human features no humans at all, relying instead on gorgeous stop-motion animation. See, that's intriguing. I like stop motion. The Tim Burton stuff, I've not always liked Tim stuff, but I like that stop motion now. And I wish they would go back more to that.
I'm glad it's still around.
Yeah, I'd like to see them use it more a little bit. Another movie, number 6, 45 Years. Veteran star Charlotte Rampling and Tom Courtenay anchor acclaimed director Andrew Hayes' quietly riveting portrait of a seemingly sturdy marriage shaken by a sudden revelation on the eve of the pair's anniversary. It's rated R. Number 7. You know what? These are from our friends, Entertainment Weekly. I mean, there's something for everyone. Music, the Hateful Eight soundtrack. Here we go. Working on his first Western in decades, film score legend Ennio Morricone turns in a grand piece of accompaniment that matches the movie's widescreen majesty. Spring for the well-appointed vinyl. Now, you saw the movie. How did you think that soundtrack was?
The soundtrack was total Tarantino.
Yep.
It was very well done with the epic pieces by him, but then it was peppered in with some very odd but seemingly fitting odd choice of music. Like famously Gary Puckett in Pulp Fiction, he did a couple more of those in this one. So.
Nice. Number 8 is going to be a TV telenovela. Yeah, telenovela. Eva Longoria's workplace comedy, on which she plays the Spanish Challenge star of a Spanish. I like her. Yeah, exactly. Language soap opera hits the mark by mixing goofy wit with outrageous drama. NBC's Mondays at 8:30 p.m. I would probably watch maybe 1 or 2 and just feel like I'm watching a reality TV show. Also, I'm not a big fan. Now, you guys might enjoy this. I mean, there's something here for everyone. NBC's not been a strong network for me for a long time. But I will have to say,
not since Must See Thursdays.
Yeah, back in the day. I'm happy with what they're doing with Heroes. I know I am the minority, but I am enjoying the show.
I watched a couple episodes and I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
of the new stuff.
Yeah,
Reborn. Yeah,
I watched it with my girlfriend, and we kind of got stuck on it for a bit. We were trying to get out of the house, and it was like, actually, we have to stop it because we have to leave now.
It is
watchable.
It's not a show that makes you think. It's not like a Doctor Who writing. The writing is not like Doctor Who, where it's very intriguing, makes you think that 4 episodes, something happened. That's what Moffat does for Doctor Who, and I do. You watch the recent episode, but all of a sudden, something that doesn't make sense 4 episodes finally fits what's going on here, even though there's different writers. Neil Gaiman did a couple episodes. Heroes, it's mutants. It's the whole, segregation. It's the Jeff Loeb feel, obviously, where it's coming from.
Politics and which that would entail.
Yes.
Dealing with mutants.
Time travel. It's a popcorn TV show. I know I'm not looking to find enlightenment in the show, but it's done pretty well. I mean, it is telegraphed, but it's done all right. Number 9's Games Among the Sleep. I'm not familiar with that. Childhood can be terrifying. A notion this award-winning survival horror video game exploits to a great effect. Excuse me. As a footy pajama-wearing toddler tasked with simply making it through the unforgiving night, you navigate a dreamscape that is scary and oddly moving.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it does sound pretty cool. So do I have like a killer rattler?
Is that like
a rattle?
What kind of game is that?
It doesn't tell me what the platform is. I'm sure it's probably going to be on
Sounds like
a
a
game.
Telltale.
What's the name of it again?
It's called Among the Sleep. Check that out. And number 10, to round it all off, another TV, American Crime, the nuanced anthology series and its powerhouse cast led by Regina King, Lily Taylor, and Felicity Hoffman. Return with a turbulent new case involving a high school sexual assault. ABC, Wednesday nights at 10 p.m.
Among the Sleep, by the way, PlayStation 4, Xbox One.
There you go.
Windows,
It's on your gaming consoles.
Yeah,
so that is pretty cool. The description for American Crime looks good. I would probably watch it, but for some reason, I have this real bug up my ass lately because of superhero TV shows turning into crime dramas, and I understood it when it first started.
Yeah.
Let's use. We're gonna use. I could use Supergirl. I could use. Obviously, Daredevil's a bad example because he is a lawyer.
Still though,
it's based off a crime drama. I get it. You mix a superhero that nobody knows about. Some of the most watched TV throughout history has been NCIS. What is it? Blue Bloods. Any of the NCIS, Law and Order. They're one of the most popular shows out there. There's that crime base type feel. Brings in the general public. After 5 shows have done this, find a new niche. I understand that if it's not broke, don't fix it, and it's easy to grab the general public. I'm really getting bored. iZombie's the same thing. A zombie brain-eating, woman who works in the crime lab or the coroner's lab for the police department. It's funny but after 6 episodes, I'm like, and that's like based on a comic book. I just told you I watched Lucifer.
Yeah.
DC's Vertigo's comic book. Lucifer. Love the actor. Name escapes me. British man.
But it's a crime show.
But I did not expect it to go the way it was.
Yeah.
But it turned into a crime show, and I'm like, wah, wah, wah. I just feel, let's get creative. Let's step out a little bit. It's kind of killing the TV superhero genre.
Yeah.
Tom Ellis?
Yes, loved him. He was also in a USA Network show that got canceled. The name escapes me, but it was about a severely drug addict doctor, and he was a house call doctor, and he was massively intelligent, but he was doing cocaine, doing
EastEnders. Is that what you're talking about?
Nope, it's not EastEnders. And he would keep doing drugs to keep doing these famous house calls and saving people. I thought that was pretty cool. It was good, but it only lasted 1 season.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, Lucifer, definitely check it out. The pilot is out right now. I believe it came out last week. I forgot what network that's on. I want to say maybe Fox. But I'll give it a couple more.
Yeah.
But it is that stereotypical
crime stuff.
Good cop, bad cop. Obviously, Lucifer is the bad cop.
It's on Fox.
It's on Fox, yeah. So hopefully, maybe in the new season, we'll get some more. I know DC's Legends of Tomorrow will be out through CW, which looks interesting.
I'm excited for the new Agent Carter.
Agent Carter, yes.
She's going to the West Coast.
There was rumors of Sandman coming, which is another DC Vertigo.
Yeah.
But that has been buried under stuff. I don't know what's going on. TNT was supposed to do the Teen Titans, and that's been pretty quiet. And Fox is still in the works with their X-Men TV series. So we'll see what happens.
Those
with
are
that.
supposed to premiere this year, both of those.
Which one? The Teen Titans one?
No, they're doing the Hellfire Club, the one X-Men series. Yeah. and then they're doing the rocking good comedy Damage Control that they're
on
doing.
ABC.
Yeah,
yes.
so
That'll be
apparently we're gonna get both
ABC.
of those.
The comedic look of the superhero universe. If you're not familiar with Damage Control, was a comic book back in the 90s, I want to say, where it centered around a group or an organization of experts that would clean up all the mess that superheroes would create. So in Avengers, with all the destruction of everything with the alien ships, here comes Damage Control to fix that. So that might
work, might not.
Were we going to see the Wrecking Crew?
Yeah, right.
Maybe we'll be able to see something else. I don't know if the comedy route is the best way to go with that, but
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. But on that note, thank you guys for listening to the very first episode of 2016. Hopefully you'll stay with us throughout the year. We got a lot coming up planned on this show and many of the other shows, which are...
Inkcast, which we're going to be doing the 4th annual award show very soon. It's going to be coming up. Also, you can check out Popping the Cherrywood, Random Shit, Random Guy, and the Ming and Mike Show, all available on FanboysInc.com. That's with all of the awesome content we have.
All free?
All free. But you can go check us out on iTunes and Stitcher as well. And yeah, like I said, all of our awesome content. We got movie reviews, comic reviews, articles, some photos, all sorts of fun stuff. You can
I got nude photos of Jeff if you want to see them. I got them on the cloud somewhere.
And it's all, we all attribute it to having one of the greatest sponsors ever, Death Wish Coffee.
Wake the cup up!
There it is. If you go over to deathwishcoffee.com, you can order anything off their awesome menu of coffee and coffee-related merchandise.
Swag.
And if you type in Fanboys Inc. at the checkout, you get 15% off
Coffee.
every
New Mardi
single
Gras mugs
order.
coming.
Yes, new Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras. They look really
They're
awesome.
all purple. And
Yes, they look pretty cool with
they're all cool looking.
with
but
the
these
jester on the cover,
the jester
on the cover,
thing,
on the mug. Yeah, like that baby right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome right there.
We love those guys. But yeah, so definitely follow us all throughout 2016. And
You got to
check
tell
out
them
all the stuff.
what to put in. You
I
didn't
did.
tell 'em?
Fanboys Inc.
Did you?
15% off.
I didn't hear that.
I know.
What
'cause
was
you
it?
were 15% off.
What's the code?
Fanboys Inc.
How many times
Just inside. No, that's not it. No, that's not
How many times can you use it?
Every single time.
How many?
Every
time?
single
So if I
time.
went
I
on
feel like I'm on a
5
Billy Fusillo commercial right now.
It's huge!
Oh, man, we should wrap this up.
Anyway, you can find us on any social outlet under Fanboys Inc. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Friendster.
No Friendster. I deleted that account. But
Tinder.
yeah, right swipe, please. And as always, check us out on fanboysinc.com. On that note, I'm out of here.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hasta la vista.
Peace.
This has been a Fanboys Incorporated network production. Found on fanboysinc.com, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio. Good night and geek on.